Hello lovely friends, how are you all doing today? I hope you're well. Oh my goodness, here we are at the end of January, end of month 45, I'm having to think. And yet again it's a very grey, dark, damp day. So I'm over in the window trying to get some of that natural light in. How's your January been? Oh my goodness. Time has done a really weird thing this January. Once again, it feels like a month which has absolutely flown by. I mean, it doesn't feel like 5 weeks. Yeah, it's getting on for 5 weeks since Christmas. That seems like, on the one hand, it seems like yesterday, but on the other hand, it seems like it was a lifetime ago. It didn't even happen, you know. So yeah, it's another month that's flown, but also it feels in some ways like it's dragged. Oh my goodness. It's been a little bit of an up and down month, mostly up. More of that in a second. Oh, and I just want to say, before we go much further, yes, I'm still getting my Christmas post. This is from Otis. You'll see Otis's comments on my videos from time to time. Sorry, my brain's suddenly gone a bit fry brain. Yeah, so lovely Christmas card, but what I really loved, I haven't asked permission to show you, I should have asked him, photographs of Otis's pantry setup. So last year during 2021, Otis decided, right, that's it, I'm going to convert the back garden to a vegetable garden. I'm going to see if I can go self-sufficient. And this beautiful pantry, shelf after shelf of bottled goodies, reds and yellows and greens, and oh, so mega thumbs up, Otis, well done. But yeah, this post situation continues to be really intermittent and erratic. And as I said previously, you know, for the most part, you know, it's not an issue. If I keep having Christmas into February, well, hurrah, how wonderful, how lovely. And, you know, most things aren't urgent. Most things can be enjoyed whenever they do turn up. But I have got a couple of documents I'm waiting on that are really, really important. I hope I get them soon. You know, I'm not having a go at the postal service, at the posties. Just to sort of reiterate what I sort of replied to in a comment on whatever video that was. It's more of a managerial thing that's annoying. The post men and women themselves, I mean, what a fantastic job they do. Out in all weathers. I mean, in the UK, throughout January, it's been almost non-stop rain. Oh my goodness. You watch, in 6 months we'll be in drought. But yeah, it's been almost non-stop rain. We don't get really, really cold. Well, at least not in London. But it's that kind of chilly, the wind, the rain. And these men and women, they're out in all of that every day with their great big heavy bags of mail up and down our streets delivering. So, you know, hats off to all postal workers and, you know, delivery people in general. You are absolutely fabulous, and we've never needed you more than we need you now, because that's how so many of us are communicating or shopping and just doing the most basic things. We're doing it to our door now, aren't we? So yeah, a massive thumbs up to all postal delivery, etc. I just wish the management at my local delivery sorting place where they manage it, I just wish they'd kind of work out a little rota so that they can cover any sick days, or I guess a lot of folk are isolating if they've been in contact with someone, all that kind of thing. Anyway, yes, so dribs and drabs of post still, and they're all lovely to receive. Now, it was at the end of December, wasn't it, in the last Thoughts on video, and I was saying that thing about how, you know, I don't think it's good for our psychology to expect the chime of midnight to suddenly change our lives, to improve our lives, that we'll wake up in a new year and, oh, everything will be great again. I mean, look, we've seen no change. It's not, is it? And so I really hope folk didn't have, false expectations. I've already seen, and heard on various sources, folks saying, oh, I thought 2021 was going to be my year. It's a disaster already. No year is going to be your year. I mean, every year is your year. Every year of our lives is for living, and no year is going to be perfect. We just have to really focus on celebrating the good stuff, and when the bad stuff happens, we can either, forget it, move on, consign it to the dustbin of history, or learn from it. It's really important to learn from the bad stuff too. So yeah, I hope people aren't feeling too disappointed that there was no miracle change to all our lives this year so far. Who knows? Now, the other thing I was talking about is resolutions. I don't make resolutions. I don't really want to set myself up for failure. Some rubbish at sticking with things. Actually, no, that's not true. I do stick with things. I stick with the garden. But yeah, I don't give myself those kind of false expectations. However, I've been doing quite a bit of tweaking and tinkering throughout January with my life for the better, because quite frankly, and I've intimated about it a couple of times already, but December was horrible. I had a really lousy December. Now, it wasn't totally lousy. It wasn't lousy from the minute I woke up every day to the minute I went to sleep. Of course it wasn't. We shared a lot of good fun times with the advent calendars. I really, really loved doing the advent calendars with you all. I mean, I loved doing it for myself, but, loved sharing it. So, yes, we had those lovely little highlights each day together of sharing that. But behind the scenes, there was just a lot of, I don't know how to put it, I like energy sapping, both physical and emotional, from outside. Other people pulling at me. It just, I don't want to go into too much detail, and it's hard to explain, but, it got to a stage, a couple of days before Christmas, I was at my wit's end with other people being babies. Like, you know what? Put your big girl pants on, pull your socks up, sort it, deal with it. Stop dumping on me. I felt like I was being dumped on all the time by so many people. I was dealing with stuff for the house that really I shouldn't have having to be dealing with. And listen, this isn't a pity party, it's just by way of setting up, how January's gone. One of the things I did do in December to start was I turned Facebook off, as in my personal Facebook. I keep my kitchen garden page because I love sharing and hearing back from you about our gardens, our veggies, our sowing, our appreciation of wildlife, that sort of thing. That's all really good, positive stuff. I love that. But my main Facebook page, I just had to turn it off because suddenly it was like the whole world was using Facebook as therapy. People putting up these, oh, it's the end of the world status for themselves. Like, oh, my life is terrible. And then half an hour later, putting up a picture of like getting all jolly with their partner, having a drink or whatever. And it's like, I was really shocked. I was actually shocked, to be honest, by a lot of what I was seeing of people just really... Listen, I understand it as well. We've all, globally, we all had a tough year last year. We all did. And we're all experiencing... Okay, we're not experiencing the same thing because we can only experience our own emotions and our own responses. But we're all experiencing the same thing in terms of you know, feeling a bit cut off from our friends, feeling a bit lonely, that sort of thing. And over time, that is incredibly draining. And, you know, a lot of last year and into this year, whatever platform you look at, there's a lot of talk about mental health. And I get it. I get that people are getting really, really, really low. But there are sometimes I just think, you know what? This isn't suitable for putting on Facebook. Anyway, so I ditched it, but still being pulled in a gazillion different directions. So, really, really got to the end of my tether towards the end of December, feeling this constant thing that I've talked about over the last 4 years of I never have time. I'm always running out of time. There's too much to do. You know, the little bit of income I need to generate, paying my bills, what have you, boring stuff, it takes me much longer, more hours, should I say, to generate that income than it ever did when I was a nurse. For instance, one day of nursing, I could earn what I now generate over the course of nearly a month. That's 7 days a week. Anyway, so the bottom line was I was fed up. I was just fed up with it all. Fed up with having no time, no energy, So I had a little think, I had a little talk to myself. I spent a day, it was pretty much a whole day. I had a notepad and pen and I just wrote down a whole column of what I don't like in my life. What's annoying, what's angry making, what's upsetting, what's sad making, what's time consuming, And another column of what do I love, and then another column of what would I like to do more of. And that really, really, really helped me to see, bending knees, I'm getting comfy. It really helped me to see where a lot of time was being wasted, a lot of emotional energy was being wasted. So that was kind of the start. And then what was really fantastic was right at the end of the month, I had my social bubble for sort of New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day with Richard and Paul. And it was great because, we're good enough friends that, we have a laugh. We have an absolute giggle together. But we can also have, really serious conversations, quite deep conversations. And because I was with them for an extended period of time, it's great because what I didn't want to do with my friends, and what people have been doing on Facebook, is just dumping on someone and then running and going off and getting on with my life. I've dumped all my rubbish on you, now I'm going to go off and get on with my life. The thing about spending that time with them was, yes, I could dump it all, but then afterwards, I was available for them to dump theirs on me. And then after that, we were all available to push that all to one side now, do some cooking, do some gardening, have some chats, talk about telly, nonsense, whatever. So it's great. I had long conversations with them and it really cemented that I need to make some changes. Now, back to this whole resolutions thing. I have made loads of changes in January. The thing is, the vast majority of them are tiny changes, tiny. They're tweaks, they're really, really little, pretty much simple tweaks. Can I give an example? Okay. One of the things that's been bugging me is I don't ever have a day off each week. Every day is a work day of some description. And I really wanted to start to try to have a day off. And during that day off, I'm not going to be just sitting around doing nothing. I'll do stuff, but I'll do things like I'll do a load of batch cooking ahead for the week ahead. Do some sewing that's for me, like clothes repairing and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that gets left to one side because I'm too busy, trying to earn those few pennies. So one of the things is, for instance, say with filming, as an example, let's say I am doing my filming for the week or half a week, And I do it over the course of 2 days, and on each day I may be committing about 12 hours on each of those days to whatever I'm doing. So that, sorry, I've got an itchy nose and there's no cat in sight. So that over the course of those 2 days I've maybe done 24 hours. Just a little tweak, an equipment tweak, means I'm now able to put it all into one day. That one day is longer than, so where it used to be 12 hours, it's now sort of 16 to 18, but it's all getting done in that one day. So the next day is freed up to do something else. So, okay, yeah, that day is longer, it's 16 hours maybe, but 16 hours is better than 24. That has been a really, really tiny little tweak. There are other tweaks I'm making whereby I may only be saving myself 10 minutes over the course of, say, 2 hours. But, you know, after 10 hours, that's nearly an hour saved. Brilliant. I won't go into details because, frankly, it's quite boring. But I suppose the point I'm trying to make is there's no way at the start of the year that I could have said, right, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to always have Sunday off. Just declaring it, you know, that wouldn't make it possible because nothing has changed other than me making the declaration. Instead, I've said I'd like to have Sunday off, but I need to do something in order to achieve that. There's a phrase, isn't there? It's a great phrase. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Such a great phrase. I heard that years and years and years ago. It's always been in the back of my mind. So yeah, if I keep doing what I've always done, I'm going to keep having the same life that I keep having, that I've had. So all those things that frustrate and annoy and sap my time, and, you know, that will keep happening unless I make changes. So yeah, lots of little tweaks with the way I'm working. Learning to say no, learning to recognise the difference between, because I am a good friend to my friends and I'm very compassionate, but there's a difference between, you know, recognising when someone really, really, really actually needs support. And of course, I'm always going to be there for my friends in that case. And then the other person who's just basically creating drama every day because they need attention because they're bored. It's like, you know what? No, you're actually wasting my time. And the other thing is, you don't give that back to me. You know, you don't give me that kind of support, attention, time. So sorry, you're gone. I mean, I haven't unfriended anyone. I've just stopped looking in that direction. So yeah, learning to say no, making all these myriad little tweaks. Now, it hasn't been, or the other thing I did as well, I decided, apart from having this, trying to have Sundays off, is to just try and have a little bit more structure to the week, so that when I get up, you know, on a Tuesday morning, I think, right, I'm going to work now. I have so many different jobs, of course, but I think, right, I'm going to work now. On Tuesday, my work happens to be growing food and creating YouTube videos. On Wednesday, going to work is, I'm going to work at the sewing machine factory. You see what I mean? And I think that kind of scheduling and categorising days, that so far is helping. Obviously, this is really important as well, things have gone a little bit scuppered in the last couple of weeks because of this. I can't remember, I mentioned it at the top of the video. Anyway, the last video you saw when I was talking about this, thank you so much, everybody, for your get well wishes. Oh, bless you all. I'm on another course of antibiotics now. Is it helping? I think it's helping. Yeah, it's definitely helping because, you know, it's still there, it's still painful, but it is not that kind of excruciating pain anymore. Oh, hallelujah. I'll be on these antibiotics for another few days, fingers crossed. So that kind of scuppered things a little bit because the pain was so distracting. It's really hard to concentrate on work. Also, it was keeping me awake at night, so I was just sort of sleepwalking through each day. But this is another really important point I want to make, coming back to the resolutions again. That's okay, you know, because things are always going to come along which kind of knock you off kilter. It's all about not giving into it and saying, oh, therefore everything else is a disaster. It's not. Despite this, those tweaks I've been making, the scheduling I've been doing, I'm setting myself up for, you know, a good year, a productive year, a restful year at times too. This is just a blip. The analogy you could draw is if you're doing a diet, if you're dieting to lose weight, and you do really well for 3 weeks, you're eating beautiful, healthy meals, you've reduced your calorie intake a little bit so that, you know, hopefully you're expending more calories than you're consuming. So you're using up some of those reserves you've got and starting to chip away at that excess weight. And then let's say 3 weeks in, you have a really rotten day, something happens and you turn and put your hand on a packet of biscuits and end up eating a whole packet of biscuits. There's no point at that point of saying, oh well, it's the end of the world, I've ruined my diet, there's no point anymore. No, you've had a slip up for a day. Just one day, just one slip up, and tomorrow you get back on the horse, as it were. Back on the bicycle, back on the horse. Those 3 weeks that you did were brilliant. You're getting your body healthier. It's just one little blip, and tomorrow you can get back to doing, you know, the good stuff that you were doing. Like with running, for instance, I know loads of my friends are doing Couch to 5K this year. They've started. And let's say that your goal for the end of January was to be able to run for 20 minutes without stopping. So you'll have started at the beginning of January with 5 minutes walking, 1 minute jogging, 5 minutes walking, 1 minute jogging, you know. And by the middle of the month, it's 2 minutes walking, 2 minutes jogging. And then you sneak in that, oh, I'm going to run for 5 minutes now with just a 1 minute recovery walk, 5 minutes running, 1 minute recovery walk. And you build up and you build up and you build up. Now, let's say your goal was to be doing 20 minutes without stopping by the end of January. But actually, you've only managed to do 15 minutes of running without stopping. And you feel a bit deflated and a bit defeated and, you're a bit of a failure. What are you talking about? What are you thinking about? You're running for 15 minutes without stopping. That's amazing. At the beginning of January, on the 1st of January, could you have gone out of your front door and run round the block for 15 minutes without stopping? No, you couldn't. You'd have killed yourself. You just couldn't do it. And now you can. Okay, it's not 20 minutes, but that doesn't matter. It's not a race to get to 20 minutes. In another month's time, maybe you will be at 20 minutes. Maybe you'll be at 25 minutes. The point is, please don't give up on yourself if something comes along and slightly knocks you off track for a minute. You can get yourself back on track. Don't throw away any of your good work just because of one blip day. So for me, this is being my blip at the moment, but I'm not going to throw away the good stuff I've managed to incorporate this January so far. Excuse me a sec. I'm not going to say February is going to be better because I don't know. Frankly, I do not know. I've got no idea what's going to happen in February. It could be a rubbish month, but I'm arming myself with some tools to just help me to deal with each day a bit better, deal with my time a bit better, and all the time keep building my own resilience. So, you know what? Yeah, even if some pretty hard stuff gets chucked at me in February, I know I'll be able to get on with it and deal with it all. Yay! If once this is gone, I don't think I could deal with rubbish and this at the same time. I'm kidding, of course I could. All right, my lovelies, it's just a quick, oh my goodness, I've just looked at the clock. I wanted to keep this really quick today because I've got other things to do. Yay! You see, over my shoulder, sewing machine set up. I need to get on. I love that. I've got to say, just quickly before I go, ever since the sewing machine had its service, I couldn't think of the word then, I was going to say MOT. Ever since it had its service and a couple of the parts replacing, it's so much quieter than it used to be, but it still has that lovely chug, 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 chug sound that I find so comforting, almost as comforting as the sound of trains. I can't wait to get on a train again. All right, lovely people. I hope you're having a good start to the year. I hope if you made resolutions that you made sensible ones for yourselves that you can actually, work on and achieve. And more than anything, I hope that if you have blippy days, that you'll take heart, you'll take strength from yourself and remind yourself that, you know what, you've come this far, you can do it. You can have a blip day and pick yourself up the next day and carry on. Yeah, let's all keep picking ourselves up and carrying on. The days are getting longer, the temperature's just going up a little bit. Let's be optimistic. All right, beautiful people, cheerio for now. I will see you again. I'll see you again really soon because we can talk about what we can sow, because yes, we're coming into another month and we can start to sow some more seeds. Can't wait. So until then, please look after yourselves. Push the blip stuff to one side. Plow on. See you soon.